Last night, you saw him walk it off with his first career home run. He's back in center field for the Shockers. At home here in this ballpark, he has thrown as many as 3 innings in relief. That came back in early March against Missouri State. He went 3 in that game, struck out 6. Those are his 2 best performances of the season. But again, that was in a different role.
Yeah, Mian looks to be in a little bit of pain.
Yeah, he's going to try to catch a few and see how that feels. Thrown at 93 miles an hour. Helps 2 out of 3. He has upped his average to 271, making his 18th start today, 16 out of 59. And he puts a charge in one to left field. The wind's going to help it. Back goes Snyder, and he is going to run out of room. Wesley Helms goes deep. That's his first home run of the year. Third is Jake Merrick, his first action of the series.
I love how Clay approaches ABs. Although he didn't get a hit yesterday, he's a tough at-bat every single time he's up. Every time he's up.
Came in with 35 hits, an OPS over 1,000. 4 home runs. Neither one of these teams real power-laden. That home run for Helms brought the total for the Blazers to 14. Caleb Duncan's homer last night pushed Wichita State's total to only 11. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A couple of good pitches from Aaron Arnold. 7 hits in only 7 innings. Every single person in the Shocker lineup last night either scored a run, got a hit, or drove one in. Jaden Gustafson came off the bench with a pinch base hit. He's in the starting lineup today. Around baseball, Corrigan has a sweeper.
Yeah.
It goes more from side to side instead of down.
Yeah, and sometimes some of those sweepers will be a little slower than you'd see like out of a gyro or a typical slider.
Lewis to his left, gloves, and takes care of Camden Johnson. So 1 away, and Gavin Lewis, really good shortstop. He's only made 3 errors all year in his last outing. 5 1/3, gave up 11 hits and 6 runs, but he gave up all 6 in the first, but somehow managed to stick around and pitch into the 6th inning. But USF went on to win that game and win the Sunday game and win the series. That was popped into left field, pretty well hit. Wall going back, the wind's going to help it. A little bouncer to second. This will test Clay, kind of. Easy grounder, and that's the inning. So each team gets a solo home run here in the first. Left field and Snyder battle. But the big key for Grant Adler last night, the big key to Wichita State's success when they were out on defense is Adler didn't permit hardly any free passes, only 1.
No, and that's a big key for just about any team, I feel like. If you can limit the free bases and stuff like that, you're going to do pretty well.
And right on cue,
yeah. If you can find more than 2 or 3 guys, you're going to do a lot of damage on offense. Just froze him right there. That was a good pitch. Those late fastballs are hard to pull the trigger on.
Third strikeout for Aaron Arnold, and now he'll face the DH Tyler Harrington. Harrington 0 for 3 last night, drove in the only run of the game. Tyler Waugh, no stolen bases, and a strike called on the outside corner. Good pitch at 93, chipped off the edge of the outer black.
Yeah, I don't know one hitter that would like to swing at that pitch. That was a great pitch.
Harrington trying to get on track. This is only his 7th start. Durnan has now been hit 6 times. So here's Gannon Snyder. He takes a good strike in there. So both these right-handers showing a good arm, especially with their fastballs. They've been in the low to mid-90s.
And Daniel has above that ball and drove it into the outfield. Left it up just a little bit for Snyder to drive it.
That'll bring up Ryan Callahan, Shocker first baseman, getting his first action in the series. He takes a strike on the outside corner, home run hitter. And I think Brian Green, in that particular situation, you get a guy on, your 9-hole hitter comes up, handles bat okay, have him lay it down. That's what Duncan did there.
Exactly. And that's what that's what gets you onto the field. If you can be a team guy and execute small things like that, it goes a long ways in playing time and continue to be a starter. It's kind of hard to see.
And it was Duncan. A little bit disappointed, but he trots back to the Shocker dugout. As Corrigan said, having done his job, he moves the guy over, and now it's up to Johnson and Mian to bring home Ryan Callahan. And in lieu of a bunch of power, that really is how Wichita State is built. They're going to have to move runners and get some timely hits with 2 outs. UAB does it a little bit differently. They like to steal base. Johnson, who hit a ground ball back through the middle that Lewis, the shortstop, handled. And now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes with Mauricio Mian waiting on deck.
I do like how Daniel's attacking Johnson right now, keeping the ball outside, trying to get him to roll over. Just hit the ball to the left side.
A little flare in the right center field, and that is going to be a diving catch by the center fielder, Braunschweig, and the throw back to first, not quite in time. A little bit offline, and Camden Johnson was staggering back into the bag.
It didn't look like he was sure that guy was on first, or didn't realize that Johnson had ran. He didn't pop up as fast as I thought he would.
And this one's in the air to left center field. The elements are going to help it. It carries. Braunschweig makes the catch as he bangs up against the wall.
Wow.
So Braunschweig made one dynamic catch coming in, one going back, and Wichita State will have to settle for 3 in the second. On Mian's ball, and that one pitch of the top of the third is strikeout once.
You know, if he stays aggressive early in the count, I can tell. It's hard to strike out without having 2 strikes on you.
And a kangaroo hop ground ball to first, and Braunschweig just stopped about a third of the way there. 2 down.
Yeah, those don't feel much different than fouling out. No. You're just like, what is going on?
Led Callahan right to the bag. Yeah.
That's what Arnold likes to do right there. Bring it up and in late in the count, run that fastball up to 94.
Well, he was wanting to swing, and Helms didn't flinch. And that one's kind of boxed a little bit by Livingston. Durnan was hit by a pitch. He started that 3-run second by getting plunked. There's that tight slider that grabs the outside edge.
Low strike is there today. If both pitchers can keep the ball low, they'll have a lot of success. When you're a slider sinker guy, it's hard to live up in the zone.
Durnan is hit again. So that sinker went boring in on Durnan's hands. And that's now, we're getting in this kind of territory here today with Colin Daniel Corrigan, like we did last night with the starter Cole Cheatham, in that, all right, I got to start figuring something out pretty quick or this is going to go downhill.
Yeah.
I've gone for extra bases. He also has 1 home run.
Try to start him backwards. Snyder's another 300 hitter that the Shockers have.
Yeah, when he and Mian get qualified to have enough at bats to get up in there, the Shockers will. Popped him up. We'll see how Hayslip plays the wind. He struggled a little bit last night on a fly ball, but that one was very well played. So Colin Snyder comes all the way back to get Gannon Snyder, and now it's going to be up to Ryan Callahan if Wichita State is going to score in each of the first 3 innings. Can he do it again? He came over the top of that one, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shockers have made Daniel work, as Corrigan Bartlett has been alluding to. The next pitch will be number 50.
Barrels, right? Keeping the barrel underneath it and getting guys to swing and miss.
Tyler Waugh was hit his first time up there. That's the 3rd hit for UAB. He had a first inning homer. Waugh, left fielder. 3-1, beg your pardon. It's not the payoff yet. Now it will be. And I would imagine, didn't ask, but I would imagine that when you come into a series against UAB, your first two guys better be strike throwers. And that's probably what Anthony Claggett, the pitching coach, Brian, one of a trio of shocker pitchers from Crowder.
It's Crowder thrower. They throw hard.
Yeah, I guess so. The three Wichita State has. Popped him up. Duncan's got a long run, but he guys in every single inning. So he'll get, takes that one outside, 2-2. But as he's gone on here in his sophomore season, starting to look more comfortable. Went 1 out of 2 in one of the starts against Louisiana Tech back on the 14th. Went 1 for 4 against Oklahoma State in the midweek. He pops that one high in the air to right field. Hayslip coming in, and going out is Clay. A little tardy on that one. And he also, like Caleb Duncan, has Merrick, the third baseman, in respecting his ability to bunt. Now, Merrick will move back with 2 strikes. Starting to now for Daniel.
Yeah, and that's a sigh of relief, I'm sure, for the UAB coaching staff. Just being able to save arms for today and tomorrow.
Fastball at 92 outside. Basically a show-me pitch, it seemed like. Mian, much like Johnson, has done nothing. And boy, as a pitcher, you love those. If you could script them, that'd be gold right there.
I was about to say, I think that the UAB team wants to see these two guys get on for Braunschweig and Helms. But
Yep.
yeah,
Harrington couldn't get out of the way quick enough, couldn't get the bat back. So 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th.
2 batters as well. It's just a sigh of relief if you're a UAB fan. Give you solid ABs every single time they come up.
Game recap brought to you by Dillon's. Wichita State and UAB traded home runs in the first inning. Wesley Helms hit his first of the year for the Blazers. And then later on, Josh Livingston countered with his 6th of the year. And then Wichita State with the only other offensive exteriors who's been hit by a pitch and grounded to short. Just goes to show you how otherworldly Braunschweig's on-base streak is. If I didn't tell you that Braunschweig's been on 55 consecutive games, and I told you Jordan Rogers has been on 21 straight, you'd think, all right, we got something.
Out over the plate. And the fact that he's hitting the ball inside this weekend as well has kind of expanded the field.
Makes him tough to pitch to.
Yeah, right?
Durnan hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd. Hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. He dumps that one into center field for a base hit. That's going to mean a run, and Braunschweig falls down.
He hasn't been given high strikes for most of the day. It's that low strike. And
Here's another look. I don't
it's
know.
hard.
And somebody said 1 word too many. Much to the delight of Shocker fans, there's been an ejection.
It's coming out now.
Yeah, he had finally settled in and had kept his guys in the game, keeping the game at 4-1 from the 2nd until the 5th here. But Gustafson, Durnan, and Snyder have reached him here in this inning, and you can see why Gannon Snyder had a beef there.
Yeah, that's a tough call for them. Just the angles and which.
0 for 1 officially. He was hit by a pitch and then hit one off his thumbs to Josh Livingston, the second baseman. Minor, much like Daniel went 5, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs. Wichita State did a really good job with Daniel when it came to runners in scoring position. They delivered 4 out of 6 times against Colin Daniel. Isaac Warwick few too many walks, as you see there. The 41 against left-hand pitching. That is crazy. Ground ball to second. Clay gathers it, takes care of Johnson. Over to third goes Black.
It's so backwards from what
It really is.
most of baseball is used to. You usually don't want lefty-on-lefty matchups. We've talked about it before, but Johnson doesn't know that.
Aaron Arnold, although really nobody did. Harrington struck out looking and then trying to get out of the way of it. And another base hit for Braunschweig. So that'll extend the inning for Wesley Helms. Helms is 2 for 3 today, 4 for 6 in the series. He'll be facing Jace Miner for the first time.
No surprise.
2 in these situations.
Looked like he was sitting on fastball right there. Shane, I don't blame him.
And to your point, Corrigan, you've spoken like a former pitcher, even though you're not. 1.
Not much.
That is not much.
Not much offense. It's hard to win any games.
Hunter Holmes, left-handed specialist, comes in for Wichita State, taking over for Jace Miner. This is Holmes' 8th appearance, and he's only covered 3 total innings. He has gone exactly 8 at-bats. Alex Cheeseman got hurt. They've tried Tyler Harrington in the first 2 games of this series. That hasn't worked out so far.
Then also the Shockers have just done a great job keeping that leadoff runner off the bags. So
in 10 2/3 innings, has only given up 5 hits. Whew. I don't know how that didn't hit him right behind him. So you understand that he's hard to hit. He has walked 5 in 10 2/3. But he has got an electric arm. The tying run is in the on-deck circle. And this becomes a really big at-bat by Gavin Lewis Jr. He's 0 for 3. And what's making this interesting is what has plagued Wichita State in games that they've lost this year. Jeremiah Arnett trying to stop the bleeding here in the 8th inning as Hunter Holmes and Nick Potter have invited UAB back into the game. 3 walks and a hit batter in the inning. Arnett being good job by Isaac Warwick. 2 scoreless innings. First pitch is a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for a called strike.
Shockers are just looking for at least 1 run here just to make it so that one swing of the bat doesn't change the entire game. And the Blazers are looking to not let that happen.
Absolutely. Durnan is 1 for 1 officially. He's been hit twice and singled.